he's out there. He's doing his thing, whatever that may be.
Okay, come on, just relax. You know, you haven't had a night off in 3 months. Do you want to watch something less stressful like the Menendez Brothers show?
I'd pick Josh right now.
Oh, Josh Shapiro?
No, Josh. Cabernet.
Look, Tim will be fine. It's not like he's going to say something crazy.
I've become friends with school shooters.
This is brutal. SLN officially turned on Kamala. If you watch the debate, you can clearly see what they are doing here. Just the truth. When you take a look at recent polls, 28% of Americans think the country on the right track, and CNN Harry has some bad news for Kamala. He did a segment. I understand you hardly watch CNN.
I've got a message for Kamala and Tim Walz. The people of Arizona do not want you as our president. And if you are in Arizona and you're planning on voting for him, I ask you to give me a valid reason why. Because in this next clip, this is what's happening in the state of Arizona right now. The state we worked so hard to keep safe, to keep secure for our family, for our friends, and for our lifestyles. With the amount of immigrants that she's allowed into our country and the amount of through, this is what we have to put up with while we sleep. But you don't hear people talking about that, do you? We are angry, we are disappointed, and we do not want another 4 years of this. And I'm sure I don't only speak for myself. I speak for many of other Arizonans who have to put up with this bullshit every single day.
She is angry. Not only her, a lot of people are saying this. When you take a look at this CNN clip, Kamala Harris is trying to distance herself from Biden and the policies of the Biden administrations. Unfortunately, Kamala Biden is undermining her effort. Kamala Harris trying to communicate to voters how her policies differ not just from Trump, but also from her current boss, Biden. This week, Harris will sit down for a number of interviews, and today she appeared on a hugely popular podcast called Her Daddy. When I look at the backlash Kamala is receiving after that podcast, because what they discuss on that postcard, I cannot even say on this video. When I look at the kind of videos on Twitter pertaining to it, first take a look at this video from CNN.
What if the polls are off? There have been previous elections, of course, where that's happened. What if that happens?
What happens if the polls are slightly off? Remember, back in 2020, the polls underestimated Donald Trump. So what happens if we have a similar error across those key battleground states? Well, if that happens again, look at this. Donald Trump carries all of these Great Lake battleground states. He carries Nevada as well. Of course, he carries Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. And he gets to get this, 312 electoral votes. So the bottom line is, if we have an error like we did 4 years ago, Donald Trump is going to win this election. Kamala Harris is going to lose.
How her policies differ not just from Trump's, but also from her current boss, President Joe Biden. This week, Harris will sit down for a number of interviews ranging from The View to The Howard Stern Show, as well as 60 Minutes. And today, she appeared on the hugely popular podcast Call Her Daddy, reporting on how the Harris campaign hopes to create some distance between Harris and President Biden. Isaac, this has been really a fascinating dynamic for President Biden. Just keeps tying her to his administration.
As you said, yes, I can tell you that that was a surprise to the Harris campaign.
Yes, if you are following this keenly, you realize 2 days ago something happened. Kamala was there trying to talk to voters. Biden shockingly entered the press room. I was like, we have never seen that before. This is the very first time Biden did that, interrupting the mainstream media. They were struggling to show what Kamala is saying, showing Biden at the same time. That is to tell you Biden is not happy. Now from this video, you will clearly see that Biden is drawing Kamala Harris to his administration, while Kamala, on the other hand, is tilting away. She doesn't like to mix up with this administration, which I don't understand. She has been there for 4 years. They have been criticizing her. Oh, why you never did this? Why you never? No, that is why you see Kamala Harris is behaving this way, which to me, it is stupid. She should accept their mistakes and give reasons why she can better off.
Prepare to be as pissed off as I am right now. $750. Let me break this down for you. When you look at all of the funding, the taxpayer dollars, our money, that was given to Ukraine, and you look at the population in Ukraine, it is the equivalent of $5,000 per person, every single person in Ukraine. $5,000. You're telling Americans you're giving them $750? Not to mention that FEMA is underfunded to help Americans because they gave $941 million from FEMA's money, which is also taxpayer dollars, to illegals. Explain to me again why we pay taxes without making me feel like I'm getting robbed every freaking day. And then explain to me why anyone in their right mind would vote for Kamala Harris to continue to do this shit. Please explain this one.
Kamala Harris's response or lack of response when it came to Hurricane Helena is going to cost her the election in the end. There isn't enough time between today and Election Day for people to forget. And not only are they not going to forget, they're being reminded of Hawaii, of all the other natural disasters that took place over the last couple of years where the people didn't get any help.
Yes, yesterday Kamala posted on that she is donating, I think, about 175 million to the people of Lebanon. You can see what is going on here. I don't understand why these people have the capability to stop all these wars. They will fund Israel to protect itself. At the same time, Israel will go out to protect itself. They go to the other side, they give money. At the same, I don't just understand what is happening. It's like you back. It is the same thing we saw in Gaza. So now people are even going further to call out what is happening in Ukraine. We have seen that in a long time. You are given this amount of Ukraine. Now look at the situation. Now look at what is happening in the country. Please, I've seen videos, though they say people are spreading out misinfo, particularly to that reasons. I don't want to react on most of those videos, to preserve my platform.
Raise your hand if you think President Trump's policies on the economy would be better for your family personally.
For sure. A lot of my friends are obviously my age, so we're a little younger. We've only voted once, for a president. And Trump is kind of all we know. And they're kind of Trump and Biden. They're like, well, we were broke with Biden. We weren't with Trump.
So as much as these undecided voters are unsure about the candidates, however undefined their decision-making process appears to be, you can see what issues are foremost in their minds in this critical swing county. But what is maybe just as interesting is what was not on the minds of those undecided voters. Issues that have received a ton of media attention in this state and in this election. Issues like abortion access and Donald Trump's lawlessness covered exhaustively by the national news media. Those were not the kinds of things these undecided voters were focused on. Does anybody have any idea about what's happening in the federal courts relating to Donald Trump's the January 6th event and what's going on there with Trump? Wait, I'm sorry to keep coming back to you, but so you haven't talked to me about your level of interest in the criminal charges and so forth.
February 6th?
January 6th.
So I remember that day. I know he was the standing president. I'm not familiar with the charges that are being brought against him for that. I'm not following that charge I know there's multiple court cases going on. I'm just not familiar with it.
I mean, that doesn't sound like it's going to be a factor in deciding who to vote for.
No.
Okay, so